The two main reasons for me for having the Techalogic DC-1 is that I'm out on the road. You never know quite what's going to happen. Some drivers just don't see smaller vehicles on the road. Just in this last week, there's been 2 occasions that I can think of that were close calls. I may not always be that lucky, and I'd rather have it on film than not, so that it can protect my insurance, protect my bike, and make sure that I'm not at fault. And of course, because being out on the roads on a bike, when you're out with your mates, fun stuff happens when you're traveling around, and if you capture those memories, you'd rather have them than not. So those are the 2 main reasons for me. So when you get your hands on the DC-1, the biggest thing about it is it records to the front and to the rear. The best thing about that for me is I don't have to worry about 2 cameras, 2 batteries, them running out at different times, different life on the batteries. If one vision's not quite right, but the other one is. With this, you set it up once, you've got full front, full back view, and it's perfect every time. I mount my DC-1 camera using a 3M pad on the side of the helmet, mostly for me, so I get the maximum view of the road ahead and also behind, because when you're riding in groups, so you know, different riders will pop in and out of the frames at different times. It gives a really cool dramatic look to it, but also maximum field of vision to the front. And you'll notice on my helmet I've got more than one mount so that I can get different views depending on what we're doing on the day. So I've used a lot of different cameras over the years, some really expensive, some not, but the one thing that I can tell you that I really love about the Techalogic cameras are the streamlined nature of them. When I'm turning my head, sometimes at speed, you just don't feel that drag that you get with those square blocky cameras that other people use. It's really for me about comfort, and if I'm on a long ride, because we do ride into the Alps and places like that, so we go on long tours, and you just don't get that neck strain from having the camera on the helmet. The DC-1's super easy to use. Once it's on my helmet, even with my gloves on and my helmet visor closed, you can just press down on the button, you hold it, the camera vibrates to let you know that it's on, and there's also vibrate functions for when you switch it off as well, so there's never any question as to whether you're recording or not. It's super easy, push a button, record straight away, and off you go. So a fantastic thing, and perhaps quite surprising thing about the DC-1 is that it lasts 2.5 hours out on the road. If I wanted to do that with another camera, I'd have to carry 10 or 12 batteries with me, which is just going to fill up all my kit. It's really heavy to carry. So whereas with the DC-1, it's super lightweight. It lasts for over 2.5 hours if you plug in a battery pack, which I do carry on the road with me. So if we're fueling up or we stop for lunch, then I charge the camera on the go. When I'm using the camera for longer periods of time, I plug in the USB power pack, and I use the weatherproof rubber pack, which connects the cable to the camera and protects it against the elements whilst I'm riding on the road. A really important feature for the DC-1 for me is the ability to use it day and night and in all weathers. You get great footage whether you're riding in the day or even in the low light hours as well. When you're thinking about obviously being on a bike, you don't have the same protection to the elements that car users do, for instance, so weatherproof qualities are really important to me. And with the USB rubber pack, being able to attach it to a battery pack in all weathers is really useful for me as well. In terms of video quality, both the front and the back camera record in full HD 1080, which gives you fantastic video quality when you watch it back. You can see number plates of other road users, which is really important for the safety side of things. You capture all the finite details of the action that happens out on the road if you're recording from memories. And also when you're out, the lens gives you this nice wide view of the road, both front and back, so you're literally capturing everything. The application that you use with the DC-1 is really great in terms of its functionality and its versatility. So as soon as I switch the camera on to record, I can immediately view it on the app on my phone. I can change some of the settings so that I can get the optimal view that I want for that particular adventure out on the road. In terms of being able to play the clips back and share them, it's really easy to move them into other apps and edit them, for instance, or share them with your friends. So it's a really great benefit to have that app with this camera. With the DC-1, as well as being able to access the ton of features that there are within the app, there's also the remote control that comes with the camera in the box. The remote control gives you the ability to take still images instantly, and you can also save any critical footage at the tap of a button whilst you're on the move. Another thing that I like about the DC-1 is the ability to colour coordinate the lenses. So if I'm on a particular bike or in a particular outfit, then I can have lenses to match, because let's face it, style is important. But also it does make the camera stand out. So for people who are thinking of misbehaving on the road, they'll see the camera and think twice. In summary, the things that make the DC-1 the go-to camera for me are definitely the battery life, not having a pocket full of batteries, the premium build and quality of the camera. Also, one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the fact that it's super easy to change the lenses if you get a stone chip or crack in them. You're not looking at an expense of hundreds of pounds to replace a fancy touchscreen or anything like that. All the touchscreen stuff's done on your phone, and it's super easy to share any of the footage that you have whilst you're out and about. And the fact that you can extend the battery life really quickly on the move makes the camera the go-to camera for me.